I know what you did last night. I know what you did this morning. I know the tab you closed in panic, the prayer you whispered in shame, the promise you made to yourself that you have already broken. I know the exact moment you decided you were too far gone. And I need you to hear this. I was there, not as the judge you imagine, standing over you with disgust. I was there as the one who wept when you turned away from me, not because I was angry, but because you believed the lie that you were alone. You think lust is your problem, but I see something deeper. I see a heart so starved for love, for worth, for peace, that it reaches for anything that promises relief, even for a moment. Tonight, I want to feed that hunger with something that will actually satisfy, not a rule, not a guilt trip. The truth, because here is what has been happening. You have been trapped in a cycle you cannot break, not because you are weak, but because you have been fighting the wrong battle. Every sermon, every accountability partner, every promise you made to try harder has failed you, not because you lack discipline, but because the framework itself is broken. You were told that lust is a willpower problem, that if you just prayed more, avoided triggers, and white-knuckled your way through temptation, you would find freedom. But I never taught that. I taught that sin is a heart problem, a hunger problem, a worship problem, and you cannot starve your way out of it. Here is what the church will not tell you. Shame is not a tool of sanctification. It is a trap of the accuser. The guilt you feel after you fall is not my conviction drawing you near. It is a counterfeit that drives you into hiding. And every time you hide from me in your shame, you feed the very cycle you are trying to break. You see, you are not fighting for purity, so I will love you. You are learning to receive my love so deeply that purity becomes the natural response. This is not sin management. This is heart transformation. And it starts with a truth that will undo everything you have been taught. I do not love you less when you fall. I love you the same. And that unchanging love is the only thing powerful enough to change you. Let me take you somewhere. I want you to see something I saw many years ago when I walked the dusty roads of Samaria. It was midday, the sun was brutal, and most people stayed indoors during that hour. But I sat by a well, waiting. My disciples had gone into town to buy food, and I was alone. But I was not there by accident. I was there for her. She came walking toward the well with her water jar, her head down, her steps careful. She had learned to move through the world without drawing attention. She came at noon because she could not bear the eyes of the other women, the ones who drew water in the cool of the morning, the ones who whispered about her when she passed. 5 husbands, that is what they said. 5 men who had taken her and left her, and now she was living with a man who would not even marry her. The whole town knew her story, and she carried it like a weight on her shoulders, a brand on her skin. When she saw me sitting there, she hesitated. A Jewish man, a rabbi, by the look of me, and she was a Samaritan woman, a double outsider. Jews did not speak to Samaritans. Men did not speak to women alone. And rabbis certainly did not speak to women like her. She expected me to look away, to ignore her, to treat her like she was invisible. But I did not. I looked at her, and I said, "Will you give me a drink?" She froze. She did not understand. "How can you ask me for a drink?" she said. "You are a Jew, and I am a Samaritan woman." But what she was really asking was this: how can you, holy and clean, speak to me, defiled and ashamed? How can you see me and not turn away? And I answered her, not with a lecture, but with an invitation. I said, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is that asks you for a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." She did not understand. She thought I was talking about the well. She said, "Sir, you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. Where can you get this living water?" But I was not talking about the well. I was talking about her, about the thirst she carried, about the emptiness she tried to fill with man after man, relationship after relationship, hoping that this time, this one would finally satisfy her. I said to her, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give them will become in them a spring of water welling up to eternal life." And for a moment, I saw hope flicker in her eyes. She said, "Sir, give me this water, so that I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming here to draw water." She wanted it. She wanted to stop being thirsty. She wanted to stop coming back to the same empty well, hoping it would finally satisfy her. But then I did something she did not expect. I brought her face to face with the very thing she was running from. I said, "Go, call your husband and come back." And she said, "I have no husband." And I said, "You are right when you say you have no husband. The fact is, you have had 5 husbands, and the man you now have is not your husband. What you have just said is quite true." I did not say this to shame her. I said it to show her that I already knew. I knew her story. I knew every failure, every broken promise, every night she lay awake wondering if she would ever be loved. I knew it all, and I was still sitting there, talking to her, offering her living water. I did not condemn her. I did not lecture her. I simply showed her that I saw her fully, and I did not turn away. And that is when everything changed. She tried to deflect. She started talking about worship and sacred mountains and religious debates. But I brought her back. I said, "A time is coming, and has now come, when the true worshippers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshippers the Father seeks." I was telling her, this is not about religion. This is not about rules or rituals or which mountain you pray on. This is about your heart. This is about the worship you have been giving to things that cannot satisfy you. This is about coming home to the Father who has been seeking you all along. And then I told her who I was. I said, "I, the one speaking to you, I am the Messiah." And she believed. She left her water jar, the very thing she came for, and she ran back to the town, to the people who had shamed her, and she said, "Come, see a man who told me everything I ever did. Could this be the Messiah?" She was not hiding anymore. She was not ashamed anymore, because for the first time in her life, someone saw her fully and did not condemn her. Someone knew her story and still loved her. Now, I want you to see yourself in her. You are that woman. You have been coming to the same well, over and over, drawing from the same empty source, hoping that this time it will satisfy you. You have been reaching for lust, for pornography, for fantasy, for anything that promises to fill the ache inside you, and every time you are left thirsty. Every time you are left emptier than before. And you think the problem is you. You think you are broken, defective, too damaged to be loved. But I am sitting at the well, waiting for you, and I already know your story. I know every fall, every failure, every secret you have tried to hide, and I am not turning away. I am offering you living water. I am offering you the one thing that will actually satisfy. Not rules, not shame, not another promise to try harder. Me, my love, my presence, the truth that you are seen, known, and still beloved. But here is the part that most people miss. The woman at the well was not struggling with lust because she was a bad person. She was struggling because she was thirsty. She was empty. She was searching for love, for worth, for belonging. And she kept going to men because that was the only place she knew to look. Her sin was not the problem. It was the symptom. And when I gave her living water, when I showed her that she was fully known and fully loved, the thirst stopped. She did not need the men anymore. She did not need to hide anymore. She had found what she was looking for. And that is what I want you to understand tonight. Your lust is not the problem. It is the symptom. You are not falling into lust because you are a bad Christian or because you lack willpower or because you are too weak to resist temptation. You are falling into lust because you are thirsty. You are reaching for something that you think will satisfy you, because you do not yet know where the living water is. And until you come to me, until you let me show you that you are fully known and fully loved, you will keep going back to the well. You will keep falling into the same pattern, not because you want to, but because you do not know where else to go. Now let me take you to another story. You know the parable of the prodigal son. You have heard it 100 times. The younger brother who takes his inheritance, wastes it on wild living, and comes home in shame. The father who runs to meet him, who throws a robe around his shoulders and a ring on his finger and throws a party to celebrate his return. You know that story. You have probably seen yourself in that younger brother. You have felt the shame of coming home after you have wasted everything. You have wondered if the Father will still receive you. But tonight, I want to talk about the older brother, because I think you might be him. The older brother never left. He never slept with prostitutes. He never wasted his inheritance. He followed every rule. He did everything right. He was the good son, the obedient one, the one everyone admired. But when his younger brother came home and the father threw a party, the older brother stood outside, furious. He refused to go in, and when the father came out to plead with him, the older brother said, "Look, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours who has squandered your property with prostitutes comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him." Do you hear what he is saying? He is saying, I did everything right, and I am still empty. I am still unsatisfied. I am still angry. He served his father for years, but he never enjoyed him. He obeyed, but he did not love. He stayed home, but he was lost. And when his brother received grace, it exposed the emptiness in his own heart. It exposed the fact that he was serving out of duty, not devotion. He was performing, not abiding. He was trying to earn what was already his. And I see so many of you in him. You are not the younger brother. You are not out there in wild living. You are here, in church, doing all the right things. You are praying, reading your Bible, serving, giving. You are checking all the boxes. But inside, you are empty. You are angry. You are exhausted. And when you fall into lust, you are shocked. You think, how can this be happening to me? I am doing everything right. But the truth is, you have been white-knuckling your obedience. You have been performing your purity. You have been trying to earn my love, and you are running on empty. And when you are running on empty, you will reach for anything that offers relief, even if it is lust, even if it is the very thing you have been trying so hard to avoid. Because the older brother's obedience was not rooted in love. It was rooted in fear, in obligation, in the belief that he had to earn his place in his father's house. And that is exhausting. That is unsustainable. And eventually, it leads to one of two places. Either you burn out and walk away, or you stay and become bitter and judgmental and dead inside. But here is what the father said to the older brother. He said, "My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours." He was saying, you have been living like a slave when you were always a son. You have been trying to earn what I already gave you. You have been performing for love when you were already beloved. And that is what I am saying to you tonight. You do not have to earn my love. You already have it. You do not have to prove yourself. You are already mine. And the purity you are striving for, the freedom you are longing for, it does not come from trying harder. It comes from resting deeper, from letting me love you so fully that the emptiness inside you is filled, and the things that once enslaved you lose their power. Now let me give you one more image. I once told my disciples, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Imagine a branch that is barely connected to the vine. It is still technically attached, but the connection is weak. The sap is not flowing. The life of the vine is not reaching it. What happens to that branch? It does not bear fruit. It withers. It becomes brittle, weak, vulnerable to every wind and every storm. And no matter how hard that branch tries to produce fruit, no matter how much effort it puts in, it cannot, because it is disconnected from the source of life. That branch does not need a seminar on how to bear fruit. It does not need a motivational speech. It does not need to try harder. It needs to reconnect to the vine. It needs the sap to flow again. It needs life. And the moment it reconnects, the fruit comes naturally, not through striving, but through abiding. You are that branch. And your lust, your pornography, your fantasies, your endless cycle of fall and shame is not the core problem. It is the symptom of disconnection. You are trying to bear the fruit of purity while you are barely attached to the source of life. You are trying to produce through effort what can only come through connection, and it is killing you. You are exhausted. You are brittle. You are vulnerable to every temptation because you do not have the life of the vine flowing through you. And the solution is not better discipline. It is deeper abiding, not more rules, more of me, not trying harder to resist temptation, but learning to remain in the place where my life flows into you so fully that the things that once enslaved you lose their power. Because here is the truth. You cannot bear fruit apart from me, and you cannot resist lust in your own strength. But when you are connected to me, when my life is flowing through you, the fruit comes. Not through striving, but through saturation. Not through willpower, but through worship. So let me teach you something. Let me show you how to tell the difference between two voices, because you have been listening to the wrong one, and it is destroying you. There are two voices that speak to you after you fall. One is the voice of the Holy Spirit. The other is the voice of the accuser, and you have been confusing them. When the Holy Spirit convicts you, He is specific. He names the sin, yes, but He also names the way forward. He says, "You have turned to this false comfort. Now turn back to me. I am here. I forgive you. Let us walk together." Conviction always leads you toward me. It always includes a next step. It always includes hope. It says, "You fell, but you are not abandoned. You failed, but you are not rejected. Get up. Come to me. Let me clean you. Let me hold you. Let me show you the way forward." Conviction is like a hand reaching down to pull you up. It hurts. Yes, because truth always hurts when it exposes our sin. But it is a healing hurt. It is the pain of a wound being cleaned so it can heal. But shame is different. Shame is vague and crushing. It does not give you a next step. It does not tell you how to move forward. It only repeats the same message over and over. You are disgusting. You are hopeless. You will never change. Why do you even bother trying? You might as well give up. You are too far gone. I cannot believe you did it again. You are such a failure. You are beyond help. Shame does not lead you toward me. It leads you away from me. It drives you into hiding, into isolation, into the very darkness where sin breeds and grows. Shame is not my voice. Shame is the voice of the accuser, and he wants you to believe that it is holy, that it is righteous, that it is my tool for making you better. But I tell you the truth. I do not use shame. I do not crush you to fix you. I do not condemn you to heal you. I use truth. I use love. I use the exposure of light that invites you out of the darkness, not the crushing weight that keeps you there. And here is the paradox that you need to understand. The more you feel shame, the more you will run to lust for relief. Shame and lust are partners. They feed each other. Shame says, "You are worthless. You are broken. You are disgusting." And then lust says, "Come here. I will make you feel good for a moment. I will help you escape. I will numb the pain." And so you go to lust to escape the shame. And then after you fall, the shame comes back even stronger. And the cycle repeats. Shame, lust, shame, lust. Over and over and over. Until you are so exhausted that you either give up on me entirely or you numb yourself to the conviction and live in perpetual compromise. But the cycle will not break until you stop mistaking shame for my voice. The cycle will not break until you learn to recognize the accuser and say, "That is not Jesus. That is not the Holy Spirit. That is the voice of the enemy, and I will not listen." And then turn to me and say, "Jesus, I fell. I need you. I do not need shame. I do not need condemnation. I need your love. I need your truth. I need you to remind me who I am." Now let me tell you something else. Every sin is a desire for something good, directed toward the wrong source. You were made to worship. You were made to long, to hunger, to desire with every fiber of your being. That is not a flaw in your design. That is your design. I made you with deep desires. I made you to ache for more. I made you to hunger for transcendence, for beauty, for intimacy, for joy. That hunger is not evil. That hunger is a reflection of my image in you. It is a reminder that you were made for something more than this broken world can offer. But sin is what happens when you take that holy hunger and direct it towards something that cannot satisfy. Lust is not the desire for pleasure. Pleasure is good. I created pleasure. I gave you a body that can feel, that can experience joy, that can delight in beauty. But lust is the belief that pleasure, apart from me, can fill the void I was meant to fill. Lust is the misdirection of a good desire. You look at a body and you think you are craving sex, but what you are actually craving is transcendence. You want to feel alive. You want to feel seen, wanted, desired, whole. You want to escape the smallness and the mundanity of your life for a moment. You want to feel powerful, in control, free. Those are not evil desires. Those are echoes of Eden. Those are reminders of what you were made for. You were made to feel fully alive in my presence. You were made to be seen and known and delighted in by me. You were made to experience the fullness of joy, the depths of intimacy, the heights of transcendence. But you have been taught to kill the desire instead of redirecting it. And that is why you fail. You cannot kill a God-given hunger. You can only feed it the right food. So stop trying to eliminate desire. Stop trying to become a person who does not want, who does not long, who does not ache. That is not holiness. That is death. Instead, start asking, what is this desire telling me I need? And where is the true source of that need? When you feel the pull of lust, do not just shame yourself and try to suppress it. Stop and ask, what am I really hungry for right now? Am I lonely? Am I bored? Am I anxious? Am I feeling small and powerless? Am I craving intimacy, connection, escape? And then bring that hunger to me. Say, Jesus, I am hungry for connection. I am hungry to feel alive. I'm in this state. I am hungry to escape this anxiety. And I know that lust promises to meet that need, but it never does. So, I am bringing this hunger to you. Show me how to satisfy it in you, because here is what I want you to know. I am not afraid of your desires. I am not shocked by your hunger. I made you that way, and I am big enough to satisfy every longing in your soul. But you have to bring it to me. You have to stop trying to meet it in secret, in darkness, in the places that leave you emptier than before. You have to come to me with your hunger and let me show you what living water tastes like. Now let me tell you something that might surprise you. You cannot hate yourself wholly. I have watched you try. I have watched you stand in front of mirrors and curse the body I gave you. I have heard you call yourself disgusting, broken, worthless, pathetic. You believe that if you punish yourself enough, if you hate yourself deeply enough, you will finally change. You believe that self-loathing is a form of repentance. But I tell you, you cannot hate yourself into wholeness. Self-hatred is not humility. It is pride in reverse. It is you deciding that your sin is bigger than my grace. It is you deciding that your failure is stronger than my love. It is you deciding that your shame has the final word over my redemption. It is you playing God, deciding that you are beyond reach, beyond hope, beyond saving. And every time you do that, you are calling me a liar. Because I said that, my grace is sufficient. I said that, where sin abounds, grace abounds all the more. I said that nothing can separate you from my love. And when you say, I am too far gone, you are saying that I am not strong enough to reach you. You are saying that your sin is more powerful than my blood. I did not create you to despise yourself. I created you to be loved. I created you to receive love, to live in the fullness of love, to know yourself as beloved. And the transformation you long for, the freedom you are aching for, it does not come from self-loathing. It comes from beholding, from seeing yourself the way I see you, from letting my love dismantle the lies you have believed about your worth. Here is the truth. Change comes through love, not through condemnation. The more you receive my love, the less power sin has over you, because love casts out fear, and fear is the soil where lust grows. When you are afraid, afraid that you are not enough, afraid that you are alone, afraid that you are unlovable, you reach for anything that will make you feel better. But when you know that you are loved, when you know it so deeply that it becomes the foundation of your identity, then the fear loses its grip. And when the fear goes, the lust follows. So stop hating yourself. Stop punishing yourself. Stop believing that you have to earn my love by being good enough. You will never be good enough on your own. That is why I came. That is why I died. That is why I rose. So that you could be made righteous not by your effort, but by my grace. So that you could stand before the Father not in your own merit, but in mine. So that you could be loved not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. Let me show you the cycle you are trapped in. You fall into lust. You feel shame. You promise you will never do it again. You try harder. You add more rules, more accountability, more spiritual disciplines. You delete apps. You install filters. You make a plan. And for a while, it works. You feel strong. You feel holy. You believe you have finally conquered it. You go days, maybe weeks, without falling, and you start to feel proud. You start to believe that you have arrived, that you are finally the person you were supposed to be, and then you fall again. And the shame is worse this time, because you thought you were past this. You thought you were free. You thought you had finally overcome, and now you feel like a fraud. You feel like a failure. You wonder if you were ever saved at all. You wonder if God is even real, because if He were, why would He let you fall again? Why would He let you struggle like this? And you spiral into despair. You feel hopeless. You feel abandoned. You feel like giving up. And then, in your despair, you reach for the very thing that started the cycle. You go back to lust, not because you want to, but because you need relief. You need to escape the crushing weight of failure. You need to feel something other than the darkness that is swallowing you. And so you fall again. And the cycle begins again. Performance, pride, fall, despair. Performance, pride, fall, despair. Over and over and over, until you are so exhausted that you either give up on me entirely or you numb yourself to the conviction and live in perpetual compromise. This is the pattern of the Pharisee, and it is killing you, because this is not sanctification. This is slavery, and I came to set you free. But you cannot be free as long as you are trying to earn what I have already given. You cannot be free as long as you are performing for my love. You cannot be free as long as you believe that your behavior determines my affection. So here is the way out. Stop performing. Start receiving. Stop trying to earn what I have already given. Stop trying to prove yourself to me. I already know you. I already love you. I already chose you. And nothing you do, nothing will make me love you more. And nothing you do will make me love you less. My love is not based on your performance. It is based on my character. I am love, and I cannot stop loving you any more than I can stop being God. The gospel is not, try harder. The gospel is, it is finished. I finished the work. I paid the price. I satisfied the debt. And now you are free. Free to come to me without shame. Free to receive my love without earning it. Free to fail and still be beloved. Free to struggle and still be mine. You are not on probation. You are not in a trial period. You are not waiting to see if you will measure up. You are already in. You are already accepted. You are already home. Now let me talk to you about confession. You have confessed the same sin to me 1,000 times, and every time, you wonder if I am tired of hearing it. You wonder if there is a limit to my patience. You wonder if this is the time I finally say, enough. I am done with you. But let me ask you, when you confess, what are you actually doing? Are you bringing your sin into the light and receiving my forgiveness? Or are you simply repeating a ritual, a formula, a transaction that makes you feel temporarily better but changes nothing? True confession is not repetition. It is revelation. It is you letting me show you the deeper issue beneath the behavior. It is you asking, why do I keep running here? What am I really hungry for? What lie am I believing? Because if you confess lust but never ask why you are lusting, you will confess it again tomorrow. But if you bring me the hunger beneath the sin, if you let me expose the emptiness you are trying to fill, the fear you are trying to escape, the lie you are trying to soothe, then confession becomes transformation. So stop confessing the behavior. Start confessing the belief. Say, Jesus, I believed that pleasure could satisfy me apart from you. I believed that I was alone. I believed that you were disappointed in me. I believed that I had to earn your love. I believed that I was too far gone. I believed that shame was your voice. And then ask me to replace the lie with truth. Ask me to show you what I really think about you. Ask me to remind you who you are. Because here is what I think about you. I think you are worth dying for. I think you are worth pursuing. I think you are worth waiting for at the well, even when you come at noon to avoid the crowds. I think you are worth running toward, even when you are covered in the filth of the pig pen. I think you are worth loving, not because you are perfect, but because you are mine, and nothing will ever change that. Now let me address something that I know is on your heart. You are waiting for a breakthrough. You are waiting for the moment when you finally break free, the moment when the struggle ends and you never look back. You believe that if you pray hard enough, if you fast long enough, if you attend the right conference or read the right book, you will have your breakthrough, and lust will no longer have power over you. You are waiting for the day when temptation no longer appeals to you, when you are so filled with my spirit that sin is not even a possibility anymore. But I must tell you the truth. Sanctification is not an event. It is a lifelong process of learning to walk with me. There is no magic prayer that will remove your humanity. There is no formula that will make you immune to temptation. Even Paul, who saw me on the road to Damascus, who wrote much of the New Testament, who planted churches and suffered for my name, even Paul cried out about the thorn in his flesh that I did not remove. And I said to him, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. You think you need to arrive at a place where you no longer struggle, but I am inviting you into a place where you learn to bring your struggle to me again and again, and trust that my grace is enough. You think freedom means never falling again. But I am showing you that freedom means falling and knowing that I will catch you. Freedom means struggling and knowing that I am still with you. Freedom means failing and knowing that you are still beloved. The breakthrough is not the end of the battle. It is the discovery that I am with you in the battle, and that my presence is greater than your victory. The breakthrough is not sinless perfection. It is the realization that my grace covers every imperfection. The breakthrough is not arrival. It is abiding. It is learning to remain in me, to draw from me, to depend on me, moment by moment, day by day, for the rest of your life. And that is not a burden. That is intimacy. That is relationship. That is what you were made for. So let me give you something practical, something you can do the next time you fall, because you will fall again. Not because I want you to, but because you are human. And I am not asking you to be superhuman. I am asking you to be mine. So the next time you fall, I want you to do something different. Instead of spiraling into shame, instead of making promises, instead of hiding from me, pause, breathe, and ask yourself 3 questions. First, what was I really hungry for? Not sex, not pleasure. What deeper need was I trying to meet? Was I lonely, anxious, bored, afraid, stressed, overwhelmed? Name it. Be honest. Because lust is never just about lust. It is always about something deeper. It is about a hunger that you are trying to satisfy in the wrong place. Second, what lie did I believe in that moment? Did I believe I was alone? That you did not care? That this would satisfy me? That I was too far gone anyway? That I deserved this? That I needed this? Name the lie. Because every sin is rooted in a lie, and you cannot break free from sin until you identify and reject the lie. Third, what is the truth? And I want you to speak my truth out loud. Say, I am not alone. Jesus is with me. I am loved. I am forgiven. This does not define me. I am not my worst moment. I am His. Speak it out loud. Let the truth replace the lie in your mind. Let it sink into your heart. Let it become louder than the shame. This is not a ritual. This is a rewiring. You are training your brain to stop at the lie and replace it with truth. And over time, that pause, that moment of awareness, will grow longer. The pull will weaken, not because you are trying harder, but because you are building a new pathway in your mind, a pathway from hunger to me, instead of from hunger to lust, a pathway from lie to truth, instead from lie to deeper darkness. And here is the second thing I want you to do. I want you to give me 5 minutes every morning, before you look at your phone, before you check your messages, before you scroll through social media. 5 minutes. That is all. Not a long prayer, not an hour of Bible study, just 5 minutes of sitting with me. You can read 1 verse and let it settle into your soul. You can sit in silence and just breathe my presence. You can speak to me like you would a friend, honest, raw, real. The content does not matter. The connection does. Because here is what happens. When you start your day connected to me, you carry that connection with you. When temptation comes, you are not operating from emptiness. You are operating from fullness. You are not reaching for lust because you are desperate. You are able to pause and say, I do not need this. I have something better. And that changes everything. Most of your struggle comes from disconnection. You are not spending time with me. You are not letting my love soak into your soul. You are running on empty, and then you wonder why you are reaching for scraps. So give me 5 minutes, every morning, before the world rushes in, before the demands pile up, before the anxiety sets in. 5 minutes of connection, of abiding, of remembering who you are and whose you are. And watch what happens. Watch how the pull of lust begins to weaken. not because you are resisting harder, but because you are being satisfied deeper. And third, I want you to find one person, one safe person who will not shame you, someone who will listen without judgment, who will remind you of my grace, who will pray with you and for you. And when you fall, tell them, not to punish yourself, not to earn forgiveness, but to step out of the darkness, because shame grows in the dark. It grows in isolation. It grows in secrecy. And the moment you bring it into the light, it begins to lose its grip. James wrote, "Confess your sins to one another and pray for one another, that you may be healed." Not confess to earn forgiveness. You already have that from me. Confess to break the power of secrecy. Confess to remind yourself that you are not alone. Confess to let someone else carry the burden with you, because you were never meant to carry this alone. Find that person, a friend, a mentor, a counselor, a small group, and be honest with them. Tell them your struggle. Tell them your failures. Tell them your fears, and let them remind you of the truth when the lies get loud. Let them point you back to me when you are tempted to run. Let them pray for you when you do not have the words. You cannot heal in isolation. I designed you for community, and one of the most powerful tools I have given you is each other. And one more thing. When you feel the pull of lust, when you feel that surge of desire, that restlessness, that hunger, I want you to try something. Instead of white-knuckling your way through it, instead of just gritting your teeth and trying to resist, I want you to redirect the energy. That surge, you feel that hunger, that restlessness, that desire, it is not evil, it is energy, and energy can be redirected. So when you feel it rising, stop, acknowledge it, say, I feel this desire, I feel this pull. And then ask me, Jesus, what are you inviting me toward right now? Say, maybe it is creativity. Maybe you need to write, or draw, or make music, or build something. Maybe it is movement. Maybe you need to go for a run, to lift weights, to dance, to move your body and let the energy flow. Maybe it is connection. Maybe you need to call a friend, to reach out, to stop isolating. Maybe it is worship. Maybe you need to put on music that lifts your soul, to speak truth out loud, to shift your focus from what you cannot have to what you already possess. You are not suppressing the desire. You are giving it a better direction. And over time, you will learn that the energy you thought could only be satisfied by lust can actually fuel worship, creativity, intimacy with me, connection with others. You will learn that you are not a slave to your desires. You are the steward of them, and you get to choose where they go. So here is where we are. We began with a question. Why do you keep falling into lust? And the answer I have given you tonight is not what you expected. It is not about willpower. It is not about trying harder. It is not about having more discipline or stronger accountability or better filters. It is about whether you believe I love you when you fall. Because here is the truth, and I need you to hear this. I do not love you less when you fail. I love you the same. I loved you when you woke up this morning and made a promise to yourself. I loved you when you broke that promise an hour later. I loved you when you closed the tab in shame. I loved you when you whispered that desperate prayer. I loved you when you decided you were too far gone. And I love you right now, as you hear these words. My love does not change based on your performance. It is not conditional. It is not transactional. It is not something you earn by being good or lose by being bad. My love is the constant. It is the foundation. It is the unshakable reality that holds you, even when everything else falls apart. And that unchanging, relentless, scandalous love is the only force in the universe strong enough to break the cycle you are trapped in. You are not fighting for my love. You already have it. You are learning to receive it so deeply that it rewires your heart. You are learning that lust is not your identity. It is a symptom of a soul that has not yet tasted how satisfying I am. And tonight, I have given you a path forward, not perfection, not arrival, but a process of abiding, of confessing, of redirecting, of receiving, a process where every fall becomes an opportunity to return. And every return deepens your trust that I will never turn you away. You are not defined by your worst moment. You are defined by my love for you, and my love does not change based on your performance. It is finished. The work is done. The debt is paid. The price is satisfied. You are mine. You are held. You are safe. And you are free to come home again and again and again, as many times as it takes. I will never grow tired of you. I will never stop pursuing you. I will never give up on you, because I did not die for the person you will become. I died for the person you are, right now, broken, struggling, falling, and still so deeply, impossibly, eternally loved. So if something shifted in your heart tonight, if you heard my voice in a way you have not heard it before, I want to hear from you. I want you to leave a comment. Tell me what you are walking away with. Tell me what you are struggling with. Tell me what questions you still have, because you are not alone in this. This is a community where grace is real, where shame has no power, and where you can be honest. You do not have to pretend here. You do not have to perform here. You can just be you, and that is enough. And if you want to keep hearing my voice, if you want more of these conversations, more truth spoken into the places you have been afraid to go, then subscribe, because I am not done with you. I am just getting started. There is so much more I want to show you, so much more I want to heal, so much more I want to give you, and I am not going anywhere. I am here. I am with you, and I will walk with you every step of the way. You are loved. You are seen. You are known, and you are not too far gone. You never were. You never could be, because my love has no limits. My grace has no end, and my arms are always open. Always. So come home. Come back to me. Not when you are clean. Not when you are perfect. Now, just as you are. Broken, messy, ashamed, afraid. Come home. I am waiting for you. I have always been waiting for you, and I always will be. Welcome home.